If you want to make money, let's figure something else out. And I hate it.
Gervonta Davis. It's like when you
who do you got?
You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size.
When you see this fight, do you see like Tank just having his way with Jake? Like given like no?
No, I'm gonna tell you this is what I tell Tank, and Tank said it in the interview. I said, Tank, y'all going there doing y'all thing, woo woo woo. And I said, he ain't giving you nothing.
Dana White was blunt when talking about the fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, describing the whole event as ridiculous. He criticized the idea of Paul going up against a fighter of Davis's level under what he repeatedly called strange and lopsided conditions. White insisted that the rules were heavily tilted, making the bout seem more like entertainment than a legitimate sporting contest.
Jake Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. Instead it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Oh, so Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach. Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake. Exhibition though, can he win? Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges. So he can actually still win and knock him out. But here's the trick. It's body punches only. And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall? At Jake Paul's belly. Oof. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's a pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved. But Jake Paul for the win.
Here are the confirmed rules for the upcoming matchup between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will be treated as an exhibition, so neither fighter's professional record will be affected. The fight is set for 10 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes. Both athletes are required to weigh no more than 195 pounds. They will use 12-ounce gloves, which are slightly heavier than what is normally used at this level. 3 certified judges will score the contest, and if it goes the full distance, a winner will be officially declared.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a victor because the fighters have agreed and the commission has approved a maximum weight of 195 pounds for this exhibition. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. The fight will be contested over 10 3-minute rounds, and when Tank and Jake enter the squared circle to go to battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves. Sitting ringside will be 3 commission-approved world-class professional judges that will score every round to ensure there's a decisive outcome for the fight if it goes the distance. And both men are enrolled in the highest level of testing with USADA. So Tank, Jake, thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving boxing another massive moment, headlined by yourselves, featuring multiple world title fights.
Trainer Calvin Foe and other boxing experts are expressing concern over the glove setup for the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. Since Davis is moving up significantly from his usual weight class to face a heavier opponent, the gloves have become a major talking point. Currently, both fighters are scheduled to wear 12-ounce gloves, much heavier than the ones Davis typically uses in his lightweight matches.
Actually, when I heard about the fight, they called me and said, what you thought about the fight? I said, the fight doable. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched Tanky for years, and I watched other young men and gyms, you know, deal with big guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's big. To me, it's like Jake having his first open fights. If anybody know about the amateurs going open, then you go pro. So, you know, he's going to fight a guy that does have skills. You know what I'm saying? My only concern is, you know, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s, so he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, if they put Tank in 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there, because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his handlers, They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be expedition. What? You know, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank don't really care, you know? So when I brought this up, he said, dang, facts. You know what I'm saying? So, again, you know, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight, you know?
The weight, how's that gonna work out? Like,
Well, they got him at 190, 195. I thought it was gonna be 190. So they gave him 5. So again, they keep giving, you know. I ain't worrying about the weight, you know what I'm saying? We got to deal with it. We taking the fight. We signed the contract. We're gonna make it do what it do, you know.
how much do you think he's gonna weigh like the night of the fight? Like, yeah, and both. Like, is there anything in place where like Jake can't weigh more than like?
Based on how he handled himself through camp. Camp is the most important thing, because if you have a good camp, you're gonna have a great fight. So my thing is just making sure the camp is good. We doing all the necessary things, dealing with the weight, the gloves and all that stuff, you know.
Ford suggests that Davis should be allowed to wear his usual 8-ounce gloves, while Paul, who is competing at a heavier weight, uses 10-ounce gloves. He believes this adjustment would create a fairer matchup.
Jake, I see y'all doing all this betting and stuff, right? And I'm looking at the fight because I'm his coach. This is a very serious fight, and I'm a very serious person. My question to you is, where the 12-ounce gloves come from? Why y'all couldn't take 10? He had 8. Already giving up 4 ounces of the gloves. I gotta say this because y'all betting all this money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, wait. You guys were the ones that wanted 12-ounce gloves, not me. I'll do 8. Fuck, I'll do 4. I'll do 2 ounces. I'll do bare knuckle. Like,
I wasn't aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that he can handle himself.
so what do you want? 10 ounce? 8 ounce? What do we
Well,
want?
if he the one said that, I'm gonna go with that. I wasn't aware of that.
No, the 12 ounce came from your guys' side.
No,
and
it's
I
not.
didn't. On God. Perfect. Then what do you want? 10?
No, I didn't say that.
So 10 ounces?
It don't matter to me. It don't
Perfect.
matter.
It doesn't matter to him. So
It
back
don't
to
matter.
what I always wanted, which was 10 ounces. Great.
You just
Thank
made
you for-
something
It don't
clear to
matter.
me. You just
Thank
made
you.
something clear to me because I didn't know. Because you fight in 10s, he fight in 8s.
Yeah, your guys' side.
So I'm like,
I
12
can
ounces. He's
show
giving
the
up-
emails and the screenshots.
I
You
get
guys
it.
asked for 12
It's
ounces.
part of negotiation. I get it.
No, let's do it. 10 ounces, 8. Let's do it. That's great. That's going to make it more exciting for the fans. Thank God. I wanted 10s really badly. Let's do it.
Dana White didn't hold back when discussing Jake Paul's approach to choosing opponents. He openly criticized Paul for taking on fighters who are far outside his own size or competitive level, suggesting that Paul should stick to opponents closer to his own stature. White noted that when Paul has faced someone of similar size and skill, he's come up short, reinforcing his view that these mismatches don't benefit the sport. Regarding the highly anticipated fight between Paul and Gervonta Davis, White described the matchup as extremely unbalanced. He acknowledged that Davis hits hard, but argued that, due to the significant size difference, a knockout is unlikely. While Davis may have the skill set, White said Paul's weight and physical advantage make it difficult for Davis to close the distance and dominate the fight.
Gervonta Davis. It's like when you
Who do you got?
you guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. You know what I mean?
Straight up ignored.
When you fought Floyd, you are massive. You're a massive fucking dude. Floyd's tiny. And I'm sure when you were training, you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit this guy with a couple punches and grab him, tie him up. And he did hit you with a fucking bomb of an overhand right one time. And you fucking ate it. You ate that punch.
Logan's like proud of it. He's like, yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I ate that punch from a 140-pounder. You're damn right, dude. Now, granted, it's Floyd Mayweather, but you're still 200 pounds, dog. You know what I mean? This is why, and I agree with Dana on this is why the Gervonta fight makes no sense to me. Because even, yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this gonna, where's the idea that Gervonta's even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Like, okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, your brother's gonna be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals, and when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of like staged fight bullshit, which like these fights aren't staged, you know, that's just, it's at that level, it's like almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts.
According to recent reports, Gervonta Davis has been steadily putting on weight throughout his training camp. Reports suggest he's now hovering around 160 lbs, despite never officially tipping the scales above the lightweight ceiling of 135 lbs. This increase brings him closer to the catchweight set for his exhibition clash with Jake Paul, potentially reducing some of Paul's physical edge. The added mass could boost Davis's ability to absorb punches while also enhancing his own striking power, making him a tougher and less predictable opponent. By bulking up, he may be better equipped to withstand heavier blows and deliver more impactful counterattacks, which could change the overall dynamics of the fight. Even though he remains under the agreed catchweight, this growth signals that Davis is approaching the bout with seriousness and is preparing to showcase a stronger, more resilient version of himself.
Gervonta Tank Davis, it's my prediction that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to weigh in on the night of the fight against Jake Paul, knocking on 160 pounds. Don't be surprised if he's 157 pounds, something like that. You guys see this footage? Look at Tank. Now, if you know what you're looking at, the guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth. See, from the front view, you can't really tell. But when he turns sideways, the guy is a wrecking ball. He's literally a baby rhino out there. And I think that is the idea for him to bulk up and be a little powerhouse out there. And I'm all for it. I'm gonna tell you in this video why I think that's the best thing for Tank and why I think he will be knocking on 160 pounds.
Many boxing analysts suggest that Jake Paul may face a tough reality when he goes up against Gervonta Davis. Davis isn't just a heavy hitter. He has spent years sharpening his skills against top-tier opponents, mastering timing, footwork, spacing, and overall fight intelligence. While Paul is still developing his technique, Davis's accuracy and precision are so dangerous that a single well-placed punch could completely change the course of the fight. On the other hand, Paul's defensive game is still raw. His reactions can be predictable, and his experience at this high level is limited. Experts argue that the gap in skill and experience between the two fighters is significant and could very well determine the outcome.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all gonna say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, He needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level, and it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killer. Chilla Killers. Chilla Killers.
Teddy Atlas considers Gervonta Davis one of the most complete fighters in boxing today. He highlights not only Davis's tremendous power and finishing ability, but also his sharp counterpunching, strategic use of traps, mastery of distance, and mental toughness in the ring. Atlas points out that Davis knows when to be patient, acts deliberately, and consistently thinks several moves ahead, rather than relying solely on raw strength. According to him, these attributes make Davis the standout lightweight with the skills and tools needed to potentially overcome someone like Jake Paul, whose style is still evolving and whose record doesn't yet reflect elite-level technical mastery.
Real boxer, real world champion boxer. That the only other time he was in for the fans to get mad with that was against Fury's Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously, and all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, I mean, it seemed crazy. You're going to go in there with a guy who was a 2-time heavyweight champ and a gold medalist? Wow. Even though the guy's, at a twilight part of his career, still.
And you've given a lot of credit and props to Jake Paul on this show of helping get more eyeballs to the sport, but the way he takes it serious and goes about his approach and his work to this craft, that he does take it seriously. With that being said, when he announces Tank Davis, I'm getting tired of these gimmick fights and him loading the deck up. Whether it was Chavez Jr. or an old Mike Tyson, or we could go on and on with some of the UFC guys and the great Anderson Silva at 46 years of age. Tank Davis, great fighter, current fighter, world champion. We know how good he is. Been a top 10 pound for pound guy for you for the last few years now. But he's 5'5" and 135 pounds. This sounds like it would be a 195 pound fight, an exhibition. We didn't count on their records. Not a whole lot of other details other than it will be in November, and it sounds like in Atlanta. But I've said enough. I just want to hear your take. What do you make of this news, Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
But, and I'm smiling a little bit. But, back in the day, I love the 1800s, 1700s, my friend out there, 1700s, whatever. But I love the old-time fighters. They were catchweights. And there was guys like Sam Langford. I know Sam Langford shouldn't even be compared with this because he's so special. But, I mean, where Sam Langford beat heavyweights. He fought from lightweight to heavyweight and beat heavyweights. I mean, back in the day when you had a lot of great fighters fighting each other in catchweights, you did have some smaller guys fight bigger guys, and you had them. You had success in spots. So I'm half with tongue in cheek, but I'm half serious because I've been in the boxing business 50 years.
Luke Thomas also weighed in on the upcoming matchup. While he recognized Davis's explosive power and elite finishing skills, he noticed a surprising lack of engagement from the champion during press events and promotional activities. Davis's body language seemed distant, almost as if he treated the fight more like a business deal than a serious athletic contest. Thomas cautioned that overlooking Paul's motivation and preparation could be risky. Even if Davis is clearly the superior boxer on paper, his apparent detachment might create an unexpected opportunity for Paul to gain an edge in the ring.
How rare in MMA. Do you feel the same? Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument that Tyson Fury also didn't stick to the order of what was in front of him as a pure boxer due to taking I can't even rember if one on his record at this point or not, but whatever. The Francis Ngannou boxing match, and he won it by the skin of his teeth and moved on. But there was a delay as a consequence to make that. Now that ended up being a little bit intriguing because of how well Francis did. But this is not the first time major boxing has been interrupted in that way. However, at least both of them are heavyweights. Like this is gerrymandered weight classes or whatever the fuck they're doing to get around it. And it's an exhibition, they're using big ass gloves. Like it's a whole thing. So in that sense, it's a little bit different. It's not different in the sense of a boxer in his prime or relative prime.
Carl Frock expressed a similar perspective, emphasizing that Jake Paul's unusual size and unconventional power could pose a real challenge for Davis, who isn't accustomed to taking hits like that. Frock's concerns mirror a broader unease in the boxing community, where many view the matchup less as a traditional competitive fight and more as a spectacle with legitimate safety concerns. He specifically highlighted the roughly 65-pound weight difference, issuing a serious warning about the potential risks in the upcoming Paul versus Davis exhibition.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think, but the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in. I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Frotch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Comedian and commentator Aries Spears offered a candid take on the Davis versus Paul matchup, suggesting the event feels more like performance art than a traditional sporting contest. He described the fight as a circus, yet still gave Davis credit for his precision and knockout power, even predicting a stoppage by the third round. What stands out is Spears' dual perspective, critical of the spectacle, but respectful of Davis's abilities. His view reflects the broader sentiment, an over-the-top promotional show that still carries real risk once the gloves are on. Whether fans find it absurd or captivating, Spears captures the tension perfectly. It's entertainment infused with skill, and even skeptics acknowledge that Davis could finish the fight early.
The next fight that's coming up is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
Oh, this is such a circus.
Yeah. Look, according to BetOnline.ag, Gervonta Davis is favored minus 240, Jake Paul's plus 190. So more than twice the odds for Davis. Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fighter.
I'm predicting a third round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. As a boxing fan, to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again.
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard Floyd was talking about coming out of retirement to fight Crawford. Now that's got some panache to it.
That'd be interesting.
It would be.
I think Floyd will end up taking a loss.
Finally.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like he'd mess up that record.
Yeah. And I would respect him for it because we know how much he's tried to protect the record. Take the risk. This is what great fighters are supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people were saying that Terrence Crawford should retire because he's 43-0 at this point.
Okay.
He's like 37 years old. I personally don't.
But he's still got the goods though.
Oh, he's got the goods.
Yeah, he's still got the goods.
Because Canelo was a monster. Had been dominating for a while.
Right.
And like he had only had like 2 losses, one of which was Mayweather, very early in his career. But this whole like Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis thing, just like, because Gervonta was supposed to fight Roach. It was supposed to be a rematch because it was, I believe, a draw last time.
Yeah.
So you go and fight Jake Paul instead. I'm sure it's a much bigger bag. I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
And clearly that's what it's about. It's the bag, you know?
Yeah. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have Denzel Washington fighting somebody. Like, you know, they're going to start putting like old men. I mean, they're already putting old men in the ring.
As long as before the fight, Denzel looks at his watch and goes, 16 seconds. I'm with it.
Do you think this matchup is a serious boxing showdown? Or is it more about entertainment and showmanship? Share your opinion in the comments.